This relates to the Gemara on the bottom of the Amud. Amar Rabba Zarak kli merosh agag uba acher v'shibro b'makel. That if a person throws a kli off the roof and another person breaks it with a stick, patur, the person who breaks it is patur. My taima, what's the reason? Mana tavira tavar. Rabba gives the reason that the person who breaks it with the stick is patur because the kli, which was falling in midair, destined to break, is legally considered to be broken before he even hit it, and therefore he is exempt. And there's an analysis based on a statement in the Torah. The Torah makes a relatively obvious statement of halacha, which is Hamotzei be'ashpa kelim mechusim gedolim lo yiga bahen. If you find something in a garbage dump, a large item that's covered, don't touch it, don't steal it, don't keep it for yourself, and don't take it to return it. Shemida'at hitmi numsham, because most likely they were hidden there on purpose by the owner. Bameh devarim amurim, when is this the case? Be'ashpa she'ena asuya lipanot. This is the case with a garbage dump which is not normally collected, klal at all. Aval imitchila asuya lipanot, but if the garbage dump is a garbage which is normally collected and taken away, like let's say a garbage can, hamatmin ba davar aveda midati. If someone puts something, hides it in this dump, this is called an aveda midat. This is not a lost object which is lost by accident, but rather it was lost on purpose, meaning it was thrown out. And therefore, harehi shel motza'ah, it belongs therefore to the person who finds it, and you can just keep it because clearly the owner could be presumed to have thrown it away on purpose. The Beit Halevi, in his Perish on the Chumash in Parshat Vayetze, raises this halacha as a question on our Gemara in Bava Kama. But first, let's see the background of this essay of the Beit Halevi. And I will highlight the key points. He starts off noticing the very first pasuk in Parshat Vayetze, Vayete Yaakov mi Be'ersheva, Vayelech Harana, that Yaakov left Beersheva and went to Haran. And Rashi notes that the Torah seems to be making a point both about where he left and also about where he arrived afterwards. And the Beit Halevi quotes Rashi, refers to this, and shares his own thought that what is this, why is this significant? That whenever a person travels from one place to another, there are two possibilities. Either he's leaving to get away from the place where he's leaving from. I mean, if you need to leave somewhere, by definition, you have to arrive somewhere else. But really, the purpose of the travel is to leave the place that he wants to get away from. The main purpose is the leaving. Or maybe it's not so important that he leaves and departs a particular place, but what's important is that he wants to arrive in a second place. And really, it's not that he's leaving somewhere, but he's going somewhere. So every traveler could be one of these two possibilities. Either he's primarily trying to leave somewhere, or he's primarily trying to get somewhere else. Ubi Yaakov nitlachtu shtei kavanot, and with Yaakov, apparently there were both purposes and both goals. He was leaving on his travel to follow the instructions of his parents. Rivka Rivka told him to leave in order to escape the threat of Esav. Kum brach el Lavan, flee towards Lavan. From that perspective, Ikar kavanatah hi shelo yiyeh be'Beersheva, makom she'Esav sham. The main thing was to leave Beersheva where Esav was. But with Yitzchak, there was a different purpose. Yitzchak lo amra kol zot. Yitzchak never knew that Esav was thinking about killing Yaakov. Yitzchak thought that the only reason for Yaakov to leave on this trip was to find a wife and to not marry someone from Canaan. And therefore Yitzchak told him, Kum lech Padan Aram, go find a wife in Padan Aram, Isha mi benot Lavan. And therefore Yaakov, following both of his parents, had the intentions of his father and of his mother in mind. And therefore, he was leaving and he was arriving. And as the pasuk says earlier, Vayishma Yaakov el aviv v'imo, that Yaakov followed his father and his mother, each for their own purpose. He was following both. And therefore, our parsha begins, Vayetze Yaakov mi Beersheva, and also Vayelech Charana. The Beit Halevi then cites the Midrash, who sees Yaakov's travels as a foreshadowing of the exiles of the Jewish people. And there too, we have both intentions, that when God brings us to exile, He has one intention of removing us from the land of Israel, which cannot tolerate us when we mistreat the land. And secondly, He has a purpose about where He's taking us to. And it's not just to leave Eretz Yisrael and go wherever we go, but God has in mind a purpose of where we're going to arrive, whether that destination is a second layer of punishment or of a different purpose. But we always have both purposes in mind. One, that we need to leave towards exile, and two, that God brings us to a particular place for a particular purpose. Finally, the Beit Halevi cites a midrash, which describes a conversation where a heretic came to a certain rabbi and says to him, Amo de ahadrina mara la pemine. And he says to the rabbi, why are you worshiping a God who himself has turned away from them? He ignored the Jewish people. And this rabbi responded that God hasn't forgotten us in the exile. Od yado netuya aleinu, His hand is still above us. And God's still concerned with the Jewish people. The Marsha, about this Gemara, asks, this pasuk that the rabbi quoted from Yeshayahu is not a comforting pasuk talking about how God's hand is still on our shoulders to support us. On the contrary, the full pasuk, v'chol lo shavapo, with all of what He's done, His anger has not subsided. O jado netuya, His hand is still over us to punish us. So the question that Marsha asks is, what kind of response is this? To take a pasuk, a phrase of a pasuk, out of context, and to say that this pasuk is our comfort and our reason to being loyal to God because God's hand is still on us. He's only on us to punish us. And here's how the Beit Halevi resolves this question of the Marsha. The Tur katab b'choshen mishpat, he cites the Tur that we started with. Aveda mida'at hu hefker. If you lose something on purpose, meaning you throw it away, it's ownerless. If you throw your wallet into the street, into the garbage can in the street, whoever wants can take it. And the question is, how do we distinguish between this and Zorek Kli Mirosh Gago? The Gemara Bava Kama about throwing a kli from the roof of a building. The Gemara states explicitly in Bava Kama, that if you throw a kli off your roof, it's not hefker. Because the Gemara has a shakal v'tarya, a back and forth. That if someone comes and breaks it with a stick, is he chayav or not? So Why would there even be a question if it's immediately hefker when you throw it in the garbage? It's immediately hefker when you throw it off the roof. A pedestrian should be allowed to catch it and keep it if he wants, because it's ownerless and hefker. And if he breaks it, obviously he's patur because it's ownerless. Who would he pay? So the difference is this, the Beit Halevi says. How do we reconcile this halacha, this Torah, with the Gemara in Bava Kama, which seems to contradict him? If a person throws his wallet in the garbage can in the street, he is not concerned at all for this object anymore. That's what hefker means. It's ownerless, it's abandoned. No one's interested in it. But if a person throws his kli off of a roof, the Beit Halevi says, why doesn't he just throw it in the garbage can? What possesses someone to throw it off of a roof? Clearly, yesh lo bazeh kavanah v'ratzon. He has a purpose. L'shovro. He wants it to break. If a person throws a kli off the roof, he doesn't abandon it, but he wants it to break. He hates it, or he has anger, or he hates the person who owns it, or whatever it is. So he wants it to break it. Kozman shalo nishperu heim shalo adayin. So the person, assuming it's the owner who threw it off the roof, it's still his, and he cares about it, and he's concerned with it, and he feels ownership over it. He didn't relinquish his ownership because he wants to break it. And if someone would catch it and walk away with it, he'd say, you stole my kli. I had a purpose for that. It's my kli. And he'll go get it back and break it. V'zeu da tzeduki amarlo, and this is what the Beit Halevi midrashically interprets the Gemara, that the Tzeduki, the heretic, says to the rabbi, that the Jewish people, why do you still stay loyal to God? God turned his attention away from you. He forgot about you. He abandoned you. You're not his. We're not his nation anymore. That would only be a good argument, what the heretic says, if God would send them from Israel and just forget about them and leave them to the tides of history and of nature and the Babylonians. His hand is still on us. God put us here for a purpose. Specifically, even the punishments of the exile are purposeful. We are still God's. Just like Yaakov's departure, not only his leaving, but his arrival, both had a purpose. The leaving and the arrival of the Jewish people to exile also is purposeful. And that's what the answer is to our Gemara, that it is not ownerless when you throw a kli off of a roof because you want to break it. But if you throw it in the garbage, then it's only then is it ownerless.